But, folks, what about this bloke? Hailing from the north of England, folk, he has made Australian his own. He's got his own identity here, which is soaring through the roof. If you've bought shares in James Graham since he landed in Australia, you're absolutely flying. Jimmy Graham, the man they call Jammer. Welcome to the run home.
Cheers, Jen. Thanks for having us. By the way, mate, losing your keys.
I know.
Mate, what are you doing?
It's my daughter, actually.
Have you not got a spare set?
Well, I think we've lost them as well.
Yeah, you know what? It's an expensive gig.
It is a very expensive gig.
I lost my keys.
Yep.
Mate, it's like a couple of grand.
It's a stack.
They're not cheap just for a key.
For a key.
Is that like the Porsche that you drove in on? Porsche aren't as expensive as the other ones. But you know what you can do? You just go get one made, a bodgy one, without the computer. So just get the key.
Old school.
Old school.
Yeah.
There's a locksmith at Bondi Junction. I can put you in contact with.
What are we in for, Brian, for that?
I think it's about 150.
Oh, thank you, linesman. Thank you, ball
But
boys.
it's just a manual.
Yeah,
stick it in. Just stick it in, turn it.
You don't get the push start button.
You don't. You get into your car.
You
get into your car, and that's it.
That's fine.
Yeah, but you can't start it because you need the chip.
No, but
you can just get in.
You can just get in.
But some of them have the turn thing still.
Well, yeah, if you've got the turn thing.
Well, Miller's got the turn
thing.
We're good.
You're good.
Also, when you come with your groceries, you just want your boot to open. You little click.
Yeah.
That's a beauty. I saw one the other day. This lady she had a nice car, but she put a foot underneath it. And
really?
There was like a sensor, and off you go up. So she had all, speaking of shopping bags, she went like that. Boom, up it went.
Wow, that's a good start to your day. I'll tell you a good start to your day, Brian. What about this bloke? This bloke, discipline's scared of him. That's how tough he is, right? You know what he does every day? Will you tell us, James?
Tell me off air. It's been the last 18 months.
Ice bath every single morning.
Yeah. Every single morning, Brian.
Yeah. Wake up, first thing I do, hop in there for about 5 minutes, about 6 degrees. Breathe my way through it. Great way to start the day.
Does it get easy now? Sorry, Brian. Does it get easy now, or are you sort of... Because you're doing it every day, or is it still a mission?
Oh, that initial shock is still, every fibre in you is screaming, get out, get out, get out. But you just got to push through.
Homemade?
No, this is the official plug-in. It's got the app program to come on at certain whenever I want, really.
Yeah.
So,
and is it outdoors?
Outdoors, yes.
This sounds good.
Yeah. And then quite bizarre, I go and touch a leaf, say thanks to Mother Nature.
Do you?
And then away we go, crack on with the day.
Can I ask you this?
Hang on, whoa. We'll back up. You touch a leaf.
Touch a leaf.
Yeah, and you say what?
Thank you, Mother.
Okay.
Mother Nature.
Yeah, thanks, Mother Nature.
And any sort of leaf? Could it be? Does it have to be a certain type of
just
species?
One of the trees that are in the garden, I guess, or bushes or whatever they're called.
They must be hanging around saying, James is here, pick me.
I'm liking this.
Pick me.
Okay, so I just want to get into your head because you're a tough character. Why do you do this every day? Is it a discipline thing? Is there medical reasons? Is there science behind it? Why do you choose to do this every day to start your day?
I think a combination of all three, but the main reason is it feels good. Like it's a choice to do difficult things like remain in the ice bath for 5 minutes, but you get through it, and then you hop out and you feel great.
So it releases 9 times the amount of dopamine. So if you, because I've told people this, cocaine releases 4 times, ice bath 9 times.
Wow.
So if you really want to take it another level, have a line while you're in the cold pool, and that would probably go to 13 times.
This is not medical advice.
No.
No.
Then you touch the tree. Then you touch Mother Nature.
Then you touch the tree.
You go,
when does the coffee come into the equation as well?
Oh.
Jeez.
Are you a coffee man?
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
I never understood Australian coffee culture. Never understood it. A few Aussies and Kiwis that came over to St. Helens that would whinge about the coffee, and I'm like, mate, it's just out of a jar, mate. Just relax. You're not that precious.
Yeah.
And now I've turned into that person. That is like, I get it. We were in Vegas.
Yes.
People are queuing up for Starbucks, paying exorbitant prices for not very particularly good high quality coffee.
Terrible.
And I get it now.
Yeah. You're becoming an Aussie more and more. I know you're just putting that Scouse accent on, aren't you?
That's
it on.
offensive. I might walk.
How do you go in the heat?
Not great.
No.
Not great. No. It knocks me around a little bit. And, the plenty of zinc on when I'm outside. And,
that's right.
Yeah.
Because you've got the fair skin.
Oh, jeez, don't I just. If all these freckles pulled together, might get a tan, but...
Can I ask you this, right? And you spoke Australian, you spoke Kiwi, and you used the term exorbitant, which relates to a story that dropped early this week.
Oh, yes.
What are your thoughts around this Australian-New Zealand exorbitant contract that's been signed by Dylan Brown, reportedly around that $1.3 million a season, which it's about $25,000 a week for 10 years.
Not a bad go.
What do you think about the signing?
Yeah.
Good on Dylan Brown and his agent
course.
for negotiating this deal. For the Knights, it's really difficult to see an upside. Like, really difficult. Like, where is the upside in this? Dylan Brown, for me, at 1.3, he's not in that echelon of player when you consider the likes of the Munster, Cleary, DCE, Jerome Luai, Nathan Cleary. You've got a couple in there like Hines
even Mitch Moses.
Mitch Moses is one. You've got your Hines in around the 1.1. But all those players have consistently performed at a high level, won games almost by themselves, and are such a integral part of whichever team they play for performance. They've earned that. And it is a lot of money. But for Dylan Brown, they're banking on him becoming that player, where those others have been that player and then being rewarded for it. So, look, it's a difficult one for me to process, but nothing against Dylan Brown. But for the Knights, really, they've got to make this work, because this is a big call. The only way I can possibly see from a Knights point of view that it works is if, they need a half, and they've got rid of Hastings on 8. They've lost Leo Thompson, and they go, well, we're just bringing in this marquee player. Or they look at it and go, we've got a better player. He makes our squad better. Yes, we've potentially overpaid, but he makes our squad better, and that's the justification.
I feel the upside is Kalyn, because we've been discussing it. It is a one-man team. As much as you look at that side, he now gets some help.
Yep.
The thing is, hopefully he stays for that 10 years. That's the other thing. There's
that's it, yeah.
Kalyn rumours that he's going to rugby union. Kalyn rumours he's going to the Chooks. If they both stay together, I feel it can work. I feel within 5 years, he's 24, this kid. He's played in the grand final. He's won that Pacific Championship, albeit, he had a pretty handy side around him. I feel it's a gamble they have to take, the Knights.
I understand where you're coming from. They needed some more firepower, more creativity, especially in the halves. I still feel like they need a genuine 7.
Yeah.
I still feel the puzzle's not complete. And I'm not looking at that Newcastle side and going, oh, they're primed for a crack at the Premiership now.
Yep.
If that makes sense. I still think they're missing a few pieces to the puzzle.
Okay, just on that, I was thinking about this, and we kind of spoke about this yesterday, Fletch and I. Jamal Fogarty, right, in the fair dinkum stakes, and I know a lot of people say he's no Dylan Brown, but he's no Dylan Brown athletically and what he can do, but does he manage a game far better? So you could argue that Raiders without Jamal Fogarty, do they lose more than what Parramatta lose without Dylan Brown? Is it that kind of... And the reason I bring this up, Fogarty's getting nowhere near that money, I wouldn't have thought.
Well, I understand completely your point of view that you need that game organizer.
Yeah.
And that to my previous point about, Newcastle, the puzzle not being complete, I think they still need a genuine organizer. Somebody to manage the game. And
do you feel, Jimmy, that they're banking on Dylan Brown to become this player? He's 24.
Well,
we haven't seen it in his game.
No, and when he's been handed the reins from Mitchell Moses to play that number 7 jersey, it hasn't worked. Interesting to see Coach Riles come in. And obviously, Mitch Moses missing for the first part. He was 6. They brought in Volkman.
Yep.
So there's nothing there to suggest Parramatta have got that belief in him to take the team around. What are the Knights seeing that we don't, if that's where they're going to play him?
Have they come out? The Knights really haven't come out and said it's going to be a 7. It's 7 money. It's a number 7 money, 1.3 million. Have they got someone? Have they got a young kid coming through and they're thinking,
well they went hard for Jonah Pezzett, didn't they?
Yeah, they missed out on him.
I think, personally speaking, if I'm the Knights, I would overpay for him.
For, say, 600?
6, 7, 8 even, and you go, well, he's going to be a half, and then put some support in and around him. I don't know, this signing just raises so many questions, and it's a big talking point for everybody in the media, and this is something that Dylan Brown himself is now going to have to deal with. He gets these questions at Parramatta when he's on reportedly between 9 and $1 million. The spotlight, he is under the microscope. Every move that he makes now is going to be scrutinised. If he doesn't make an instant impact there, or it's all well and good that you get this 10-year $1.3 million a season deal. But now with that comes the territory of people criticising his level of performance in each and every game.
Yeah.
Boys, we'll move off this, but I just want to leave you with one last thing, and maybe this will support the Dylan Brown signing. Hypothetically, if on the weekend Dylan Brown was playing for the Melbourne Storm and Munster was playing in that Parramatta side, do we see the same scoreline?
Close to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the support. That's the case for Dylan Brown.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and a good, but again, Newcastle aren't Melbourne.
No.
Like a lot of players could fit into that team and perform well, and we've seen that historically where players have cemented a quality level of performance at Melbourne, left, and we've quickly found out that it was Melbourne that made the player,
Correct.
not the player making Melbourne.
And with the greatest respect to Volkman, I think if Jerome Hughes was on the Parramatta side and Volkman was on the Melbourne Storm side, I don't think we see that scoreboard, which says the game managers are far more influential, is what we're probably trying to get to.
Anywho.
Vegas, Jimmy. How'd you find Vegas?
Fun, exciting, exhausting. It was a bit like a working books party.
Yeah.
And look, I love it that we go there. Rugby league in Las Vegas is a magnificent marriage, but for those that go, it does significantly reduce life expectancy, I feel.
But
but it's a price worth paying.
And now the English, they were the stars, not the players, the supporters. They were the stars. Do you feel? Obviously, we were talking about this. So Saints and Leeds maybe next year. Do you feel it could lose a bit of its with the lower teams, or do you feel that?
Whoa!
No. What I mean,
are you saying Saints and Leeds are lower?
No,
team?
I mean if Castleford come in,
Oh.
or there's a Hull FC. Or are the crowds going to be the crowds?
Look,
or whatever team turns up.
Well, I think you've got to go with your top teams. Hull FC would travel well, I'd say. But St Helens and Leeds, they're two massive followings. I think you need to bring the best of the best over there, and teams that are well followed and well supported.
Right. Okay, I want to get a poll with all our listeners behind this because, Brian, if you're tired and weary and life expenses come down, next year, forget about James Graham, Brian. This will be James Vegas. St Helens will be there.
Oh, yes.
Dragons will be there. Bulldogs will be there.
Oh, yeah.
You are Vegas.
Oh. You know what? A week ago, the idea of going back is just not a possibility. But I reckon by September, I'll get that little feeling, that glint in your eyes, that feeling in your stomach. You think,
those three teams. Could you imagine if those three teams are there?
The only problem is
cha-ching, cash gig.
cash gig. I was going to say, you're going to have to work.
Yeah.
You have to work for you. I'm going to have to really zone in. I'm going to be pulled from pillar to post and not be able to enjoy the bright lights.
Are we still talking footy?
If you like.
Manly. Are you giving them a chance?
I've thought they were a chance before a ball was kicked.
Okay.
I liked what they did last year. Consistency is the big issue. Last year they got out to leads against Parramatta, Canberra and West Tigers.
Got
chased
rolled.
down.
Yeah.
So consistency is the issue for them. It's all mental. They've got a great squad of players. They've got good depth with some of the players that didn't play on the weekend. So the big thing is Trbojevic. Like, how many games does he need to play at fullback, or does he need to play for that team? How many can he put together with Origin and the demands of NRL on his body? The important thing is he plays the last 4 games of the season when it's winner takes all. But that's going to be an interesting man management from.
If he does his hemi again, we'll just send him over to America for that guy over there. Who's I'm starting to think is a myth. Everyone who goes over there gets injured again.
And it just
what is that?
You know what? Tino Fasuamala went to America for training. Like you know, things are big business when front rowers are getting on those planes.
Why can't we do it here? Why, like Latrell went over, did his hemi again. So it's obviously not working. We need to start up a business.
Hamstring gurus.
And draws, NRL draws too.
But Fletch, you know what? You're right. All you need is a bit of magic, a bit of popularity. Look at Salt Bay. Like, what does he do for a living?
That's right.
Sprinkle salt on a steak, overcharge. If we can get someone's hammy back to somewhat normal
I think we
levels,
can do it.
Like, we're in the money.
Yeah.
Like, and we'll calculate the cost of flying to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Factor that in.
Absolutely.
Accommodation. We'll do it locally based, but we're going to charge pretty much the same.
Ah, yeah.
We'll give them a 20% discount.
And then they'll go in the cold pool for 7 minutes.
7 minutes.
Dopamine levels through the roof.
James Vegas, just the other thing we're going to take back's the draw. Like, we send the draw to Canada. The Roosters in their first 7 games, 4 of those 7 games are Penrith and the Broncos. 4 of their 7 games are Penrith and the Broncos. How does that bloody work? We send that to Canada to come back with that crap.
What do you mean we send it to Canada?
Canada do our draw.
They do the draw. They put it in a computer. Apparently, it's only in Canada. They come up with a draw.
We're taking it back.
We've been doing it for the last 3 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, how ridiculous is that?
Yeah, poor old Roosters, the best they can hope for is 3 wins from their first 7 games with that draw.
That is horrific. Then they go on a bit of a run. All right, let's get your crystal ball out. Gemma, James Vegas. Premiers, how do you see that?
Penrith again.
Really?
Oh.
Wow.
Okay, very confident.
Who are they
Penrith
playing?
again.
They playing
Okay.
Madge or Bellyache?
Bellamy.
Bellamy.
Yeah, I reckon it will be a repeat of last year's grand final.
Wow.
Okay, the 8 crystal ball. Who comes out? Who goes in? Who do you feel that from last year?
I've got a feeling the Dolphins are going to make it.
Yes.
I think the Cows will be out.
Knights.
I think the Knights will probably be out. And you know what? Before round 1, I did have power in, but that was on
Yeah, Moses.
Moses. I reckon that there's a stack of, there's probably about 8 teams there
Who can
that-
can sneak in.
that, you know, if things go well for them, they'll like injury, form, fitness, all that sort of stuff, they could make it. But if things go bad, like a Parramatta, their hopes are basically on the fitness of Moses.
Jimmy, I want to bring up when you and Peter FitzSimons went head to head. Has anything happened since then? Has he ever called you up for a coffee or hanging out?
No,
Nothing's.
He
It's all, are
hasn't.
you all sweet with him?
I wouldn't say sweet.
No. Okay.
We did a guest panel for Concussion Legacy.
Yes.
Concussion Legacy Foundation Australia. We were on the panel, and you know he did the old journalistic seduce and betray.
Got you.
So came in,
Yeah.
hey, how you going?
Yeah,
Nice to
yeah,
see
yeah.
ya, brilliant. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. And sat down on the panel and
then
just
talk
went,
you.
oh, wanted to air out our beef. And then I'm like, mate, we're not here for that.
Yeah.
He's like, are you going to admit you were wrong? I was like, no.
No.
And we're not here to talk about that. And he basically ruined what was a great event. But
Wow.
He's a bit of an A. He's a bit of an A grade. He's a massive A grade actually.
I don't expect any different from
Okay.
Peter FitzSimons.
Hey, boys, we've got to go. We're done for the show for the afternoon. The buy round, if you want to hear more from Jimmy, just a quick plug on the buy round, Jimmy. We've only got about a minute or so left. But
Yeah, buy round wherever you get your podcast.
Yep.
Myself and Nathan Highmarsh, one of your cronies. Every Monday, me and Brandon Smith. Every Wednesday, watch this space. News hopefully coming soon. And then we have a guest on each and every week as well.
beautiful stuff, mate. You're welcome back anytime. That went way too quick, Fletch. That was very, very quick as I clicked.
You're still here? We'll see more on the Joel and Fletch socials and catch us live on SEN Radio. Because if you don't, you're an A grade. But if you do, you're the absolute Mickey.